Hello, my name is José Enrique López Hernández, and this is our final project of English Remedial 5. We will be talking about the problems created by Coca-Cola Company. My team members are José Agustín Escobar, Sergio Milla, and Diana Sanchez.
We choose the Coca-Cola company because it is one of the products most consumed in Mexico, and the product have more disadvantage for the population and have a big consequence in their health. Mexico is the first consumer of soda in the world, with an average of 163 liters per person and per year, and 20% more than the USA. Currently, Mexico is the first country with obesity, overweight, and diabetes. Studies have shown that the country consumes 1,675 bottles per head, so don't surprise us that a country is considered a diabetic and overweight country. Well, by eating can of a drink, a soda, we're getting 10 average teaspoonfuls of sugar as a major blow. Well, this causes a very intense reaction in our body and even don't vomit at the time because the body provides phosphoric acid and this balance those unnecessary levels of blood glucose. The glucose raises insulin levels of sugar, transforming all located in the liver fat. In the following chart, we can see the increase in people with diabetes and who has had Mexico for 13 years. Well, in 1990, Mexico had an average of 0.9% of the diabetic population. By the year 1950, had a small increase of 0.5%. But for 2000, the increase was big, while the 0.9% that was in 1900, the percentage rose to 13.1%, and that meaning that the growth was 12.2%. And the last years he returned to increase from 13.1% to 16.1%. So the growth was about 3.1%. Finally, the growth of people with diabetes from 1900 to 2050 was 12.9%. Well, Mexico couldn't have control about the consumption of soda. It is that rather than stopping consumption, we seem to be competing to be the first consumers, and the biggest consequence has been obtained during those years thanks to the consumption of soda is against our health. The history about the Coca-Cola Company. Coca-Cola Company was created by John Pemberton on May 8 in 1886. John Pemberton was a pharmacist and he wanted to create a syrup uh, for digestion problems, and also he wanted to abort his energy. But and then he created the most famous secret formula in the world. Well, the pharmacist Jacob was the first to market the drink at a price 5 cents a glass, selling about 9 every day. Well, it was just the beginning on a history of over 131 years. Pemberton soon realized that the drink had created could be a success. His friend Frank Robinson was the one who designed the brand and designed the logo. Well, in 1892, Coca-Cola Company was founded by pharmacist Asa Candler, his brother John Candler, and Frank Robinson. 2 years after, the mark recorded in the Registry Office of Industry Property. Well, in 1926, Harrison Jones introducing a Coca-Cola company to Mexico because he thought that introducing this product would bring tremendous results.
Others in Mexico are a group of a former committed as Coca-Cola firms established in Mexico City in 1991 by the chairman José Antonio Fernández Carvajal and the CEO John Santamaría Portasua. Coca-Cola operates in Mexico, Central America, and Philippines. The main products are Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite, Coca-Cola Zero, Coca-Cola Light, Cielo, Water, Plus, and Coca-Cola Light, Fresca, Sprite, Powerade, Del Valle, Valle Reserva, Fuse Tea, and Fuse Light, Delaware Punch, Vitamin Water, Bar, Berbere, Florida Ford, and Coffee Bar. In other countries, the soda change names and flavor. In more than 19 countries, the soda has a ban for taking down the possibilities of consuming this beverage. Condition of production in Mexico, Coca Company had 43,988 employees in Mexico, around 13 states of Mexico. They have 853,373 points of sale, 71 million consumers, and they have also 17 product plants, and they have also 142 distribution centers. However, the brands worldwide and the products could be found everywhere, but the formula is different in every country. Although it is a global brand and the product is everywhere, but the formula is different in every country, respecting the sweetness of this product. The rest of the ingredients are the same of these two countries, USA and Mexico. Carbonate water, caramel color, phosphoric acid, natural flavor, and caffeine. Regular sugar instead of orange syrup. Glass bottle instead of plastic. They each have since the word refresco and no watermelon printed instead of the plain on pedestrian reflection. The tasters unanimously picked a Coke served in a glass bottle as their favorite. The Coke label as Mexican has picked by the Mexican booster every time. The boosters are equal as tasting and feelings. They mean that while there are an equal number of people who are affected by the flavor of the Coke, as there are who prefers Mexican Coke, like everyone, just like the idea of Mexican Coke is because the real sugar is tastier or healthier than the commercial. Because the Mexican Coca-Cola is more expensive and harder to find. Thank you for watching us. This is a project about the problems created by Coca-Cola Company in Mexico. subscribe.
Tax measures on soft drinks and other drinks between Mexico and the United States of America. This case is derived from the claim that the US filed against Mexico to establish import 20% sales tax, import and distribution of sweeteners other than cane sugar, such as beet sugar or corn syrup with high fructose. A tax of 20% of soft drinks and other beverage, they are using different import cane sugar sweeteners. Overconsumption of soda can cause health problems due to the high sugar content. Therefore, it's not moisturizing, it contains no vitamins, minerals, or any nutritious food. It is a threat. The sugar content in soft drinks involves a high caloric intake. For example, some cans of cola on the label the nutritional value states that each 200 milliliters of soda provide the body 84 calories, so a can of 355 milliliters provides 149 kilocalories. This energy can burn during doing 15 minutes of aerobic exercise, such as running. Excessive consumption of this beverage helps to increase problems of overweight, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, among others. This research center also specifies that such diseases are present in 60% of the adult population, which now Mexico also ranks second in overweight after the United States. Meanwhile, water consumption is essential for the proper functioning of the body and is healthier. If you want more information about bottled water and the price in different brands, you can consult the comparative price of bottled water. Finally, it considered that the excessive consumption of soda can affect your spending and break your health. So we suggest you make intelligent consumption of such beverage you consume. We have seen today the company Coca-Cola, which has tried several methods to use marketing strategies in order to recover the sale and production that generate prior to taxation. The recent campaign last winter called Share a Coke had a very important effect on the company since it returned to make a big impact on consumers in our country. A success is based on personalization, since the fact put the name on a bottle produced an identification, now seated only as a product but as a friend. So we can say that this advertising, its main competitor is the PepsiCo company, who has been able to raise their levels of sales and production of customized water and carbonated beverage. In this graph, we have seen that Coca-Cola starts with 2,073 million cases sold in 2011. The next year shows a large increase by 436 boxes. But in 2013, we can observe a gradual increase sales for the last year. In 2014, has a minimal decrease, while its main competitor ends his year being the best in the market with 2,810 million boxes sold per unit.
In addition, Coca-Cola is leading the overall ranking. It's one of the brands that occupy the first place in the Mexican consumer preference, according to the second edition of Brand Footprint that makes Kantar World Panel. Mexico is one of the most consuming countries in Latin America, says Fabian Girardi, country manager of Kantar World Panel in Mexico. The study Brand Footprint was developed with information from 956 million households in 35 countries located in Asia, America and Europe, which was measured the number of times when the members of family consume soft drinks per year and the preference of the customer according to technical consumer reach points. Customers can be measured by this technique. The real brand reach to know the number of times you made the decision to buy. This study resulted in Mexico that Coca-Cola is the first place in the country because 99% of the population from the exhibit decided to buy an average of 85 times during 2013. Kantar World Panel is a company that has over 40 years of experience in analysis and research of different consumer sectors and has presence in more than 50 countries worldwide. How has the company affected Mexico? On the other hand, CEO reported in Mexico 675 bottles of 8 ounce were consumed last year, figures which owns 58% of the carbonated beverage market, leading the sector. Actually, the government has taken action on the matter, and Mexico has been increased significantly in people with diabetes by poor nutrition. At least 10 million people are diagnosed with the disease, which is the leading cause of death in the country and cursor of other diseases such as hypertension and neuropathy. In Mexico, 8,835 million of pesos is the cause of the diabetes, and although the number of people affected by this disease is not attributed directly to Coke, we can say that it's a very important factor because the formula of Coke is not regulated in Mexico, despite of high consumption in the population, and although the government in recent years has become aware of it, only have limited advertising and hasn't done anything about regarding the production of the drink.
Mexico is the first consumer of soft drinks in the world, with an average of 163 liters per person per year, 40% more than in the United States, which ranks second with 118 liters. 7 out of 10 children in rural communities take breakfast with soda. On average, a Mexican family spends 10% of its total income on soda. Between 1999 and 26, the consumption of sugary drinks among Mexican adults tripled. Adults who occasionally consume soft drinks are 15% more likely to be obese. A quarter part of caloric intake comes from Mexican drinks.
Give me a break, not more.